Everyone, today we'll be studying the first chapter of biology class 9, that is fundamental unit of life. So let's start the chapter. See, the chapter starts with an introduction of how Robert Hooke came to know about cell. Robert Hooke discovered cell in 1665, and he discovered cell through by looking at cork, right? And when he looked at cork very closely, when he observed cork, he found that cork resembles a shape of honeycomb. Just like honeycomb, there were structures or there were compartments present in cork, and he called these little compartments as the cell in Latin means little box. Now cell can be seen with the help of this instrument, which is known as a microscope. This is the diagram of a compound microscope. Now compound microscope is present in biology lab and there you can see all uh, this is the diagram, and through this compound microscope, very small structures, very microscopic structures which are not visible to the naked eye can be seen. For example, we can see some cells, plant cells or animal cells, through this compound microscope. Now this is an activity 5.1 which is has to be performed in the lab, in this what we do, we take an onion peel, we take a very small layer, that white color layer of it, and we stain it, right? Meaning to say, we color it with the help of a saffron in solution, and then we wash it and we place it in on this microscope here, and we place it here and we see through this eyepiece, and we'll see small structures like these. So these small rectangular structures which we see through the compound microscope, these are known as the cells. These are the cells of onion peel. They are visible in the form of small rectangular brick like structures which are very closely bound, or which are very closely attached to each other. Now these structures, they are very closely attached, and as a whole they make a full like onion peel or onion bulb. So we can say that cell are the structural units of life. They as a whole give a shape, a definite shape and structure to any organism. Now cell, in this yellow box you can see that cell, different discoveries of cells are written. Cell was discovered by Robert Hooke in 1665. Leeuwenhoek Hooke discovered cell in free living cells in the ponds. Purkinje in 1839 coined the term protoplasm for the fluid present inside the cell. A fluid like structure is present inside the cell, which is known as the protoplasm, and the protoplasm was discovered by Purkinje. Next, this is the cell theory. Cell theory is very important, and there are 2 points of the cell theory. The first point is that the cell is the basic unit of life, and the second is that all the plants and animals are composed of cells. These are the two points or two postulates of the cell theory. The cell theory was given by Sladen and Shawn in 1838-39, and it was again modified and further explained by Virchow in 1855, suggesting that all cells arise from pre-existing cells, meaning to say that cells do not arise as by magic. They arise from the pre-existing cells. Some cells are there which give rise to new cells, and this was explained by Virchow. Electron microscope is somewhat different from the compound microscope, and through it very minute structures which are not visible through the compound microscope can be easily seen by the electron microscope. Now there are different types of cells. See, our world is made up of organisms which are made up of either single cell or of many cells, right? So on the basis of that, presence of an organism body is made up of a single cell or an organism body is made up of many cells. There are two categories of organisms, that are unicellular and multicellular, right? So unicellular organisms are those in which a single cell constitute a whole organism, or the organism body is composed of a single cell, are known as unicellular organism. For example, amoeba, chlamydomonas, paramecium, these are all unicellular organisms. And different from that is the multicellular organism, where the organism body is made up of many cells. right? So all others like fungi and plants and animals, they are all multicellular organisms where their body is made up of many cells, right? Now these are some different cells of the human body. For example, this is a muscle cell, this is these are the blood cells, this is our nerve cell, and this is our bone cell, this is the sperm, this is ovum, right? So all these are the different cells of the human body. Now what is the function of the shape and size of the cell? See, the cells are of different shapes and sizes, and the shape and size of the cell depends on the function the body is performing, right? On its use. If it has if for example, amoeba has to take food from wherever possible. Its body is very irregular in shape. Amoeba is a unicellular organism which body is made up of a single cell. Here the cell can change its shape, right? The shape is not permanent, or it can change its shape. Amoeba has pseudopodias or false leg. Through pseudopodia it moves and it catches its food. So here the amoeba is a single cell, so here there is no definite shape or structure of the cell, whereas our cells, or the cells of plant, they have a definite shape and structure. So the shape and structure of the cell depends on what kind of function is being performed. Each living cell has the capacity to perform certain basic functions that are characteristic of all living forms. How does living cell perform this basic? There is a division of labor in multicellular organisms such as human beings. This means that different parts of the human body perform different functions. Meaning to say, see, in amoeba a single cell is performing where all the functions, whereas in case of multicellular organism, all the cells do not perform the same functions. There is a division of labor, meaning to say some of the cells will perform a specific function and some other group of cells will perform some other function. For example, in our human body, the cells of the heart they jointly or they collectively perform a different function, right? That is of sending blood to all parts of the body, whereas the cells of the stomach and the intestine, they perform a different function of digesting and absorbing the food, right? So all the cells are everywhere, but according to the function the organ is performing, the cells are performing that function. So cells are everywhere in multicellular organisms, and this is known as division of labor. Division of labor का मतलब होता है काम को बांट देना, यानी कि हमारी पूरी बॉडी में सेल है, लेकिन हर कोई एक जैसा फंक्शन करने लगेगा तो डिफरेंट फंक्शंस कैसे परफॉर्म होंगे? हमारी बॉडी के अंदर बहुत सारी चीज़ें चल रही होती हैं, इसीलिए सेल अपना ग्रुप बना लेते हैं। तो एक ग्रुप एक काम करता है और दूसरा ग्रुप दूसरा काम करता है। इस चीज़ को कहा जाता है डिविजन ऑफ लेबर, यानी कि काम को बांट देना। लेकिन इन सब में भी सेल काम तो डिफरेंट कर रहे होते हैं, बट देयर basic components are the same. So all the living cells, whether they are performing the same function or same functions or different functions, the inner components of the cell are the same. These inner components which help in the cell in performing its functions are known as the cell organelles. Cell organelles are the inner components or inner structures of the cell which perform their functions, which work inside the cell and helps the cell in keeping alive, right? Now Now we come to the structural organization of the cell. Structural organization means what all components are present in the cell, or what all components the cell is made up of. So first we will come to the plasma membrane. Plasma membrane is the outermost covering of the cell, right? It is the outermost covering and it protects the cell from the external environment. For example, the cell has to go through all the harsh conditions, harsh environment. So the plasma membrane protects the inner components or inner organelles of the cell from any harmful activity going outside the cell. Now the plasma membrane also performs the function of letting something inside the cell or letting something out of the cell. कहने का मतलब ये है कि जैसे आपका घर है, आपका घर की जो दीवारें हैं वो प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है, ठीक है, तो वो आपको बाहर के एनवायरनमेंट से भी प्रोटेक्ट करती है। और जो घर के खिड़की और दरवाजे हैं, दे आर लाइक सेलेक्टिव पोर्स इन द प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन, जिससे कि चीज़ें अंदर आती हैं, चीज़ें बाहर जाती हैं। अब जो प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन है वो सेलेक्टिवली परमिएबल होती है। परमिएबल का मतलब होता है कि जो वो चीज़ जिससे कोई और चीज़ जा सके, जैसे छलनी होती है, इट इज़ परमिएबल, राइट, उसके थ्रू चीज़ें पास हो सकती हैं। सेलेक्टिवली परमिएबल का मतलब ये होता है कि चीज़ पास जिस सब्सटेंस को प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन चाहेगी वो सब्सटेंस प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन के थ्रू पास हो सकेगा, और जिस सब्सटेंस को प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन नहीं चाहेगी वो सब्सटेंस प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन के थ्रू पास नहीं हो सकेगा। इसको कहते हैं सेलेक्टिव परमिएबिलिटी। अब इसमें प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन के थ्रू चीज़ें मूव कैसे करती हैं, तो जो गैसेस हैं जैसे कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है और ऑक्सीजन है, ये डिफ्यूजन के थ्रू प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन के आर पार जाती हैं, right? And what is diffusion? Diffusion is the movement of particles from higher concentration to lower concentration, right, on their own. They do not require any active energy or energy from the outside. ये प्रोसेस अपने आप ही होता है। फॉर एग्ज़ाम्पल, जैसे हमारे कुछ सेल्स में कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड बहुत ज़्यादा बढ़ गई है और सेल के बाहर अगर कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड कम है, तो जो कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड है वो सेल के अंदर से सेल के बाहर की साइड मूव कर जाएगी, ठीक है, और इस प्रोसेस को डिफ्यूजन कहते हैं। सेल के बाहर ऑक्सीजन बहुत ज़्यादा है और सेल के अंदर ऑक्सीजन बहुत कम है, तो बाहर से ऑक्सीजन अंदर आ जाएगी थ्रू द प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन बाय द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिफ्यूजन, राइट? सो दिस एंटायर थिंग इज एक्सप्लेन्ड इन दीज टू paragraphs. Fine. So in our next class we'll be studying about the different phenomena which occur and different structures of the cell, the phenomena which occur in the cell, and about 3 types of solutions which are present because of this diffusion and selective permeability of the cell. Thank you.